So there are two stories, and let's connect the dots. One story set in 1930, and second story in 1955. So let's start with a story 1930. So what exactly is this? You can see in your screen. The top left of the screen. So I don't want to, I want to make it the session interactive, but due to time paucity, I'll continue speaking. You can put your comments at the chat box. So this is nothing but a pressure cooker. So I have a concept when you go to 1% of the cream layer, you have to think two things. One is who made it, who used it. So the person who made it may not be in 1%, but the person who used the instrument or the application that made by someone else can be into this 1%. This is somewhere some great takeaway that I took in my life. So let's go to next slide. So this is 1930. This is the ad of 1930 when pressure cooker recently, at the time that ventured into that market, right? So this was the ad. The ad of the pressure cooker is the cooker that looks after itself. It requires practically no attention, never burns the food, and only requires a glimmer of the gas. So this is the introduction of the pressure cooker. Now let's see how this ad has converted to a magnum of opus, like what a story, interesting story. So let's talk about a person whom you are aware of is Harold Sanders, who is the founder of KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. So let's go to his story. At the age of 6, his father died, and he took the responsibility of his family. And when he took the responsibility of his family, he learned almost all the dishes of different regions at the age of 7. And at the age of 40, he made a restaurant of 142 sitting sites, and he eventually invented a lot of recipes during the course of time. So how is pressure cooker related to him? There is an interesting story to this. In late 1930, Sander went to demonstration on a new device called the pressure cooker. The new device for that time. Okay, now everyone know what is pressure cooker. And he started to wonder if he can do something with chicken. Can he put the chicken into the pressure cooker and make some change? And after experimenting, he came out with the best fried chicken he ever tasted. And finally, till date, the KFC still fries its chicken in pressure cookers. So this is the concept of who made it and who used it. The person who used this get into the 1%. And the person who made it probably in the 99% or 1%, we are not sure. But we are absolutely sure about the person who tried to apply the knowledge. If you can do that in your life, you can also get into this 1%. I have another story to share. So let's look at the top left of the presentation. Shows a bus, right? Very, very interesting story attached to that. It is a winter chilling evening in 1st December of 1955, and the bus number 2857. And a lady, a 42-year-old seamstress, basically she was tailoring. She went to the bus at the evening time, and she was sitting in middle of the bus. After a stop, the driver asked her to get into the back seat. She refused to do that. However, the fellow people, the persons who were beside her, they stood up and they went back. But she denied. She told that I am not going to give the seat. Okay. Now the concept, actually, you may be wondering what exactly happened. This is the story of Rosa Parks, who, because of her decision like, no, I am not going to offer this seat to a white person, changed the entire legislation of America. In 1896, there was a legislation passed in America that is called law of segregation. Whites are preferred over the black. Suppose if the seat of the bus is filled by filled by black, and if any white person comes into, they have to offer the seat to the white person. This is a law by law. And in 1955, she said no. She has not done any different, mammoth. She didn't do any great invention or not discovery. She just said no. But when she was saying no, her heart was beating. I read her autobiography where she was speaking that, she was telling that I may be beaten, I may be killed, I might be killed, I might be beaten, or it might have any kind of if I say no. But still, she stood. And that made her to enter into the 1% elite club. And today, Obama, you can see the picture to the right. Obama is sitting on the same bus, and he applauded the deeds of Rosa Parks. She tells us that we all have responsibilities to ourselves and to one another. She became the inspiration for the Obama. So what happened after she stood up? I mean, she said, no, I am not going to offer this seat. After that, she was arrested. She was uh, fined with some penalty. And after that, there was a revolt in the state of Alabama, and over 2 lakh people, black people, they decided to not to go into any public bus of America for 381 days. It was a non-violent protest. Eventually, Supreme Court decides to outlaw the legislation, and finally, the law of segregation has had dissolved from the date, right? So that the change you can make or we can make by just saying one no. That is the power of making small things. If I say that innovation, or if I say you have to be in 1%, you will be thinking what exactly 1% we should do in inventions. We should write law, or we should write big programs. Not at all. You can by doing a simple thing, you can get into that. However, in the succeeding slides, I will be showing what are the formulas for that. Let's go to next slide. So this is one depiction you can see on the top left, bottom left. These restrooms were classified with a actual picture of 1929, white and color. So this is how racism was dominating at the time. Let's go to important slides. So I hope you can know this. This is nothing but the population of the entire world today. It's close to $8 billion. And if you want to be 1% of that, it is 8 crore. And suppose if you want to be 1% of Indian population, it is 1.38 crores. So do you think that getting into 1.38 crores club is that tough? Okay, let me give one example. So if it is 138, it is difficult. If it is 1,38,000, maybe difficult. But 1.38 crores, still we have opportunity to get into this. But how is all about today's workshop. So moving ahead. So all of you can see the top left picture. Is about, anyone can guess if you can put in chart, but I will not interact with you at this moment. So this seems like a boxing kit, okay, or this seems like some trouser or some blanket, or seems like some winter apparel, maybe, right? So let me go to the actual picture. So this is nothing but a heat jacket. So generally, in India, country like India or developing countries have acute shortage of incubators. We don't get incubators, and for the reason the premature babies or the babies who really need incubation are not surviving. Over 8 million babies. Someone from Stanford University tried to empathize, try to understand their problem. Actually, they try to understand the problem of a mother, rural mother, or the problem of the people who cannot afford for incubation. They designed the jacket in a way, and they put a heater inside the jacket. And when they put the jacket, heater inside that, it has a preset temperature rating in the jacket that will adjust according to the temperature required by the body. Basically regulation, temperature regulation. And that was successful. And today it is touching million of hearts, million of mothers. So isn't it the act which took to 1%? It took from 99 to 1%. Yes. But why is it possible? It's possible only because to feel the pain of a mother, to feel the pain of a child, to feel the pain of the entire rural India or developing countries. When you look at in that angle, you can definitely get into 1%. That is the change you can make, and you can get into the elite club. Now, I have one more interesting video to share. So just hold on. Yeah. I hope the audio is coming. Can everybody listen to audio? Arindam, can you please confirm? Is audio is there?
Yes, it is audible, sir. It is audible.
Yeah. Please tell me that. Then what's the view of this video? I hope my audio is again clear. So we call it fun theory. So did you observe that no people were getting into the staircase? People were interested more getting into escalator or some kind of convenient method. But when they put a piano to that, people started loving it. So this is called innovation, or this is called a change in behavior. This is called getting into 1%. Nothing great. They just put an idea. What the amount they would have not paid crores of rupees to put a piano. Okay. So this is how the change happens. Let's move to the next slide. So let's look at a closer look at the three pictures. First, let's focus on the central image. What is the difference you can make out with this image? It was simply a handrail. Okay, but the person who designed thought that why can't I make in such a way that there is no need of making any, chairs. Additional chairs are not required. This is how a change can happen. Very simple thing, right? Next. Let's look at this interesting picture. So this is a commode, and actually, to be frank, the flushing water really do not require to be very clean one. So you can wash your hand here, and you can wash your hand here, and simply you can just flush it out. So that's the beauty of innovation. It's nothing great. It's a very simple thing, right? So now let's look at this image. This is a water fountain. They could have designed directly it can go into here, but they wanted to retain water here. The primary purpose was to engage, for pets or dogs, they can bring the water from there. So that was the primary purpose. So let's move to next image. So yeah, this is a technological innovation or technological changes. Please have a deep glance at that. This is a two-phase setting. You can just modify this shape to you can pull this side or that side. You can see this or that. You don't need to put additionally install for change of east and west direction. You can see sunrise and sunset at the same time concurrently, right? Number two, this is a keyboard with. You don't have to. Actually, you really don't need a keys to to type something. The laser will automatically send, and when you can type on the plain table, and that can take it. This is a simple idea, right? And you can see this is an algorithm. This is to prevent HIV. So how they can make it is a very long process to explain. So maybe this session will not be adequate to explain this, but you can just see a person prepared one algorithm in such a manner that the HIV transmission can be reduced. So a mathematician can reduce this instead of a biologist, right? So let's take one interesting video. Look out. This is about 3D printing. What exactly is 3D printing?
When we first launched the 3 Doodler, we asked the world to imagine a pen that could literally draw in the air. 2 years on, We've made the world's first 3D printing pen even better with a new and improved version that's slimmer, lighter, quieter, and even easier to use. The 3Doodler heats, then rapidly cools plastic, allowing instant 3D creation. And with no software or computers, the possibilities are limited only by your imagination. We've shipped over 130,000 first-generation 3Doodlers, and our community has used them to create amazing things, from jewelry, research and development. We're also releasing exciting new accessories, including the Jetpack, a portable power pack that gives you the freedom to 3Doodle on the go. To help kickstart creativity in the classroom, we've created a special educational bundle, complete with pens, plastic, accessories, and curricular materials, which you can send to any school, library, or makerspace of your choosing. If you can draw, write, or wave a finger in the air, you can create with the 3Doodler. Our community website has hundreds of projects and stencils that you can download
so
for
let's
free.
not get into their website, but the point is, you can put your imagination into a 3D world. You must be heard of 3D printing. 3D printing is nothing but, you can draw a 3D object by pen. So 1% क्यों नहीं? I try to put into Hindi that if you do all these things, why can't you get into 1%? Not you, we all can do. There is a lot of opportunity in this universe to do that. So let's look at this one. So this is a real life example of sustainability. So Oria girl from Belgium, she wanted that she doesn't want a waste to be, plastic. She doesn't want a plastic to create a sustainable product. She designed edible cutlery. You can see that she can take the spoon also. She can eat the spoon also. So that is the beauty of innovation. You just change. You don't need to throw the spoon. You can eat away the spoon or cutlery also. Number 2, a 60-year-old farmer helps paddy, sugarcane to grow on 400 acres. Initially, the land was alkaline, but by his experience, by his study on agriculture, he could transform this 400-acre land into a cultivable. And last one is e-conscious commercial. But we have a lot of idols in Vinayak Chaturthi right now, and we can see that a lot of people are interested in, they are just throwing it or they are just immersing in water. So there is one foundation. They wanted to collect all the idols and they tried to make a small homes and they try to distribute to slum children or the underprivileged children. So these are the ideas which can make you get into this 1%. Let's take one more real life example, 2 important examples. One is, let's see the image at the right. The Kerala teachers ensure that every kid living under a bridge learn despite of lockdown. This is a scene of Under the Bridge. She went under the bridge to teach the children during pandemic time. The contrary to that, when you get into the left, the person, Subrat Pati, he is a teacher, history teacher. He climbed onto the neem tree and to ensure that network is there, and from there he can take his online session. So see, the persons are not different. They just made a small change in their perception. It's a small change in their attitude that can make them, get into this 1%. Let's move into other. So let's give my own example. So why my own example is important? We can talk about many people in the world, but unless we also do something, we don't get the self-actuation. So I wrote a quote in May 2019, and it was hardly, I did it in my office time when I was busy with some work. I thought I have opened MS Word and just I typed some quote, and it was hardly say like 5 lines or 6 lines. But that motivated me to write a 200-page book today, and I have published one book in 2020, another book in May 20. So how can this happen? What is the cause to happen? I have listed out 5 key elements. Number 1, passion to do something that can make into journey, or that can make into that elite club of 1%. Number 2, urge to convey message. Every one of us has an urge to convey the message of our heart. How to convey that is the most important. By speaking, I can communicate to 15 people or 20 people or 100 people at a gathering, not more than that. But if I write something, I can be in many countries and I can reach to wide people, right? So that is one urge that made me to do that. Number three, bring difference in the thought process of even it's like not only to myself, to the public, to the society I'm attached to them. Number four, patience. Patience is something important. Otherwise, I no need to tell about this. This patience is every one of you know this. And most important, please note this point that not to lose just before 1 minute. Generally, it happens in cricket also. You have seen Sachin Tendulkar, many a times he bowled he at 99. And of course, it is a matter of frustration, but he has to go on. And finally, today he's the most century scorer. So the point is that we should not never lose before the 1 minute. Generally, it's very tough time. It happens many times that just before 2 minutes before success, we leave it. Or sometimes we say that, oh, I am done, I cannot do further. And that is where you lose. So these are the learnings of my personal experience to be into this 1%. Now let's move to another slide. So why you want to be unlike 99%? Is there any sound reason that why we all wanted to be at top 1%? Of course we cannot be, but why? There is a famous theory that's called Maslow's theory. That is first start with you. We all have basic needs. Basic needs like roti, kapda, makan. We all have that. Of course, security. The country provides for security. The country provides police force, etc. At the same time, when we grow up little, we will look at our self-esteem. We want appreciation. We want lot of claps from others. We want something, friendship, relationships, everything. Those are called psychological needs. But this is not the area of innovation. Innovation area will come at self-fulfillment needs. You think that, I'm underutilized. I'm not utilizing my fullest skill. I'm not enough creative. And that will make you to get into this 1% club. So this is why we want to be unlike 99%. Every one of us. This is a true story. But the point is who reaches to that point, that makes a difference. Now, what to ponder now? Now I told you, right? You can be this 1%, you can do this change, small changes, examples. But the point is, you can look at all this area, like I have listed out 3 plus 7, 14 points at some green and red, right? I wanted to highlight where you can focus to be into that 1%. And in my experience, believe me, that social work can definitely take you to this 1%, because that is where you are doing empathy, you are having empathy to other people, and that is where you are serving to other people. And that gives you not only getting into 1% success, at the same time that gives you self-satisfaction, self-gratification, right? So for example, you can focus on crisis intervention, like during COVID time, how you perform. Like, are you sitting in the mask and just switching your TV channel, or you're just doing something for the public, or at least did you feed anybody? So that makes a change. That kind of ideation will make you different from others. You can take social work-based behavior, or you can focus on animals, or you can focus on human rights. You can focus with dealing with children with disability. Or you can also promote Ayurveda. All these things can help you to distinguish from others. Now moving ahead, the ultimate formula of how to get into the 1%. You can see one image at the top right with a glass. There is two images, like one is blurred one and one is clean lens. So whenever you want to inculcate a change within you or within others, you have to see in the lens which is clear. You should not wear your own lens and filter with respect to your knowledge or society. Okay. Number two, this is whenever someone sees this picture, they want that, they want to merge this piece into that cube or square, and they want to make it united. This is attitude that everyone of, we all have the same attitude to organize it better. But how to do that? So I have, in my experience with learning from some books, from other sources, I could collate this point. However, this is exhaustive list, like you can add your own, you can sometimes disagree also, but let's get into that. So how 1% of the people do differently? Number one, they learn from the failures, and you must test failure to learn about success. Otherwise, you will never know. If you know -1, you will be knowing 0 and then eventually 1. And your attitude, Attitude can be, generally when we speak about attitude, people say we have to be positive, positive. But does it really matter that we are positive attitude and doing nothing? Attitude is nothing but accepting the society in as it is condition. Attitude is nothing but different. I mean, acceptance to different approach. Attitude is nothing but collaboration. You have to collaborate with it. You do not have all the skills. You may not have all 100 skills with you. You may have 2 3 skills, special skills with you, but for other things you need to coordinate with other people. And lens, that as I told you, that you have to do not filter it. You see it as it is, in original condition. And number 3 is most important. As I told you, the example of the heater jacket, that could come out only because of empathy. You should feel the pain of others. That will help you to get into, to change something, to do something for others, to get into the incremental change and plan a third way. Generally, we have 2 ways, like, do it in this way or do in that way. But those 2 are regular ways. You should find a way which is distinctively different from these 2. That is called third way. Generally, when there is United Nations do that, right? Where we can fight, like see the case of the Afghanistan right now from America prospect. They kept their soldiers for 20 years or maybe more than that, but now they pulled it, and what happened, you see. So there should be a third way for that should not be solved in the manner they pulled their soldiers in hurried manner. That should not be, that led to the condition. See what condition today the world is facing, that is against of humanity. So third way means doing in a way that that will create a win-win situation. And if you do all these 3 things, you will be definitely into this 1% club. However, 1% is not a benchmark. So what is the summary of today's session? Focus on incremental change. Don't rush, focus on incremental change. Extraordinary will not come immediately. You have to focus on incremental change, a change that is realistic, a change that is pragmatic, and a change that is just 1% to that, above that. Okay. Number 2, you can do anything, but ensure that that is meaningful. You can write a poem, but that should be a meaningful one. You can do some social service, but that should give some actual help, instead of putting it into a, you have taken a picture and uploaded in social media. That's not going to interest you, right? So daily 1% is enough. If you grow 1% per day, that's adequate. And 1% is not a benchmark for you. I mean, getting into the 1% club by passing this 99% is not a benchmark. It can be possible that you are at top 95%, or it can be possible that you are at top 3%. Whatever it can happen. Don't think it is as a benchmark. Like, you should go on, keep doing your work. Eventually, you will get some cornerstone. And let me explain you the power of compounding. 1.01 is, generally when you grow from 1% every day, that will give you 1.01 times. And if you grow 365 days in that manner, you can see the power. You can make 1 into 38 within 1 year. That is the power of compounding. If you grow 1% per day, you can grow 38 times by end of the year. That is the summary of the session. So I have some interesting to show here now. So the session is over right now, but I have interesting slide to share. See, I don't want to say thanks to anyone, because we all are sharing knowledge to each other. And let me introduce now. I am Sunil Kumar. So my intention for this workshop was to share my knowledge and let's grow together. Okay. So this is an instrument. I mean, I need to say, you can see, you can make difference that this instrument is playing with marble. It's not with it's not with your keyboards or something.
Chapter 2.
Well, I'm stopping sharing now. We can discuss further.
Perfect.
So I'm done with my presentation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. My God, throughout the session, I was completely glued into the way you were presenting, and I could see all of the praises coming directly to me, because the chat section I somehow made mute to everybody. But a lot of wonderful accolades I could see on my WhatsApp. Unfortunately, a lot of people could not attend, but the recording of this workshop is on high demand. So that is what really made me ponder that, okay, I should record the session. It's an amazing workshop. Like, to be honest, for the first time in English Times, this is the best PowerPoint presentation that we ever had. And the kind of explanation that you had done and the kind of wisdom that you had imparted upon all of us, it's truly mesmerizing. I can completely, I'm 100% sure, like you have given me that faith that even I can also be in one person. And especially I did like the point of Kentucky Fried Chicken, where the creator may not be in the 1%, but the person who uses it, my God, this is one of the best examples that I have ever come across. I have never thought of something like this. But instead of me speaking out, first of all, I would like to call upon Miss Anita. Miss Anita, we would like to know your point of views. How did you feel? And thereafter, I would call upon some of the participants to share their point of views. Yes, Miss Anita.
Well, Arindam, I don't have any word to say anything. It's an ineffable kind of presentation. And the kind of like a example, specifically that example, which I want to tell, that the fun, changed your attitude, right? It's really great. And the kind of sir actually narrated, such way. I just fond of this, that wow, this is called the actual workshop, where that you shared the example in a such manner where people really get mesmerized and feel that, oh my God, something new actually I received it. So it's really great, sir. Thank you so much, sir, that today that you took this workshop and you shared your valuable knowledge with us, with this platform, and it's really, really, really amazing, sir. Thank you so much for this.
Yeah, we are really glad, sir. We are really glad to have somebody like you with English Times, and we are really, I'm really thankful to God that
Sir,
we
in
have.
one word, I want to say that you are a genius. That's all.
For sure, for sure. And I just have to share one thing. Like today, I was just reading this book. It's Unlimited Power. And today I could feel that unlimited power into your workshop. So I don't think I have to go through this book after this amazing workshop. And we do have another participants like Anand. So Anand, I would like to call upon you. And Anand, first of all, we would like to know from you that how has been your experience of the workshop? And not only Anand, we do have Mr. Dilip and other participants. So yes, Anand, let's start with you. How has been your work? How has been your workshop experience?
Sure. Hi, Sunil. So I actually liked the way you presented the session. I mean, it was really enlightening for me. A lot of information has been shared. I know it's kind of something new which I'm taking away from the session. Now, if I have to share my thought process, so there are few things which even I believe when we talk about being innovative or when we talk about being different from someone. I think these things may not come when you be like, no, if you keep on thinking, okay, I want to be that one person, it may not happen like that. I think this all comes from the hunger what you have. If you have a hunger, it will come automatically. And the process is like continuous, and the process should be continuous and uninterrupted. Just by putting a effort without going into a direction. Here we have to bring in the formula, law of velocity and not the speed, right? So we have to go into a specific direction to achieve it. That's what I believe. And yeah, I think whatever you have spoken, it's completely in line with my belief on these aspects. But at the same time, I think, it is not like one has to keep on putting efforts on it. Rather, it is more like there should be a need. The example you showed, I mean, it really remind me of the quote like, necessity is the mother of all invention. That's what exactly what you described. No, when someone needed something and they come up with some idea, it can come from anywhere, any thought. No, but one takeaway here is that whenever any idea comes to anybody, they should not keep it with himself. He should execute right away, and otherwise the idea will become completely futile and it will not make any result. That's what I believe, and I really like the way you presented. Thanks a lot, Sunil.
My pleasure. It was great with you. Listen all this stuff. You're right. I want to tell. Actually, I wanted to speak a little more, but I don't want the session to be more elaborative because most of the pictures and videos are self-explanatory.
Yeah.
That's the reason I didn't tell. But yes, that's why I told incremental change is more important. And if you think that I will be Einstein, you will never be Einstein. Even Einstein was never thought of that. Okay, that happened eventually. It will happen. The time will support you. The only point is continuous efforts. That's all. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Anand, for this wonderful feedback. Thank you so much. And yes, we do have Mr. Anil as well. So Mr. Anil, for the very first time, we could witness you in English Times platform. So we would like to know your point of view as well. So what do you think? How was the presentation and what kind of takeaways did you take out of this presentation? Yes, Mr. Anil. So I really would request, yes, Mr. Anil.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arindam. First of all, a very great evening to all of you. Thanks for inviting me and giving me such a great opportunity to attend this workshop. It's been really a great evening for me. It's a memorable thing added to my, my kitty. So first of all, the workshop, it is absolutely wonderful. There is nothing 1% I can say that I just got distracted or I was not interested. So I was from the starting of first word to the last word, I was completely into the workshop because it made me such a wonderful examples and such a inspirational quotes and the videos and the innovative ideas. These things just kept me mesmerized throughout the session. So it's really an absolute bliss attending this workshop. Hope to see such more things from English Times. Great initiative. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Anil. It really means a lot. Thank you so much. Your words really mean a lot. And before concluding the session, I would just like to say that yes, if you ask me the takeaway out of this session, so in 4 steps, I would like to describe the entire summary which I had received. The first thing is, first of all, we need to have a knowledge. Second, execution is important. Without execution, without action, knowledge is potential, but knowledge cannot reveal itself if you do not take action. Third, do you have the intuition to check whether you are performing right or not? Maybe you are doing something, but it is not leading up to the kind of goal that you want to achieve. So definitely you need to have that intuition to check whether that action that you have taken is right or not. And finally, are you flexible enough to mend your ways to reach at your goal? So if we do have these 4 things, definitely we can be in top 1%. And yes, I truly agree that hunger is something which keeps us moving on towards our goal. And the more the hunger is, the more the kind of strive, the more the strive that you have towards your goal, definitely the more the chances are to be in top 1%. Well, for sure, I am definitely promising one thing to myself, that I'm going to enact at least on one of the action points that Sunil sir has mentioned. And for sure, in future, in some other workshop, definitely I would be thanking Sunil sir for giving such wonderful piece of wisdom to all of us. So on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming, for attending this wonderful workshop. Your presence really means a lot, because without audience, the speaker has no existence. And at the end, thank you so much, Sunil sir, for giving us this privilege to be a part of such an amazing workshop. And thank you so much for putting so hard, for putting all of your efforts to bring us with this amazing knowledge. Because without your hard work, without your efforts, this was not possible. So you did more than what we expected. And we are really proud of you. And we really would like to witness many more of such workshops in future from you. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you for giving this opportunity for me as well.
Most welcome, sir. And like this, at the end, I would like to say a bid. I would like to bid a goodbye to all of the fellow participants, including the speaker, and in fact, very soon we are going to meet with another such amazing workshop, with another such amazing personality, and with a lot of flavor of knowledge and wisdom. Thank you so much. Good night.
Thank you, Sunil. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
Good
everyone.
night.